So Etsy ads, it's been 3 weeks since I pushed that button, so I want to share with you some of that data because I know some of you are still trying to hold off as long as you can, and some of you have been forced into it already. So let's have a look at my data and see what we can interpret out of all of this. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, check out the playlist above of me covering all this new Etsy ads from when it started 3 weeks ago. And before I dive right into the numbers, I want to quickly just have a word about statistical significance. So many people are knee-jerking, making changes, making decisions, and we just don't have enough data points. Unless your shop is super high volume, it's unlikely that you have enough data points yet to make a whole lot of a decision about anything. It's not uncommon for a shop to have something like a 1% click-through rate. That means for every 100 times your ad is shown, it's clicked on once. And it's equally not uncommon for a shop to have a 1% conversion rate. So that means for every 100 clicks, it gets one sale. So what that is telling us is that on average, your ad needs to be shown to 10,000 people before it's going to get one sale. And that's on average. So if your adverts are making about 10,000 views a week, give or take, you should be averaging about one sale. But that's averaged over time. You could have 2 weeks in a row where you have 2 sales and another couple of weeks where you don't get any sales. That doesn't necessarily mean that your click-through rate has increased or your conversion rate has increased. It just means there's natural fluctuations. So to actually get statistically significant results, you want to be looking at data sets that are significantly larger. Something like a 1% click-through rate and a 1% conversion rate, statistically speaking, your results are not going to be all that significant until your ads have been shown to 100,000 people. So the numbers I have just now are just a guide to give us an idea of what's going on at the minute in time. Don't read too much into them just now. I'm going to keep these ads running for a good deal of time longer to build up enough statistical data. So what I've done today, as it's been 3 weeks since the ads have turned on, I've looked at the weekly data for the 3 weeks before the ads and the weekly data for the 3 weeks after the ads. So I've looked at data in 2 places to get these results. I've looked at my detailed stats, the breakdown of how many visits I'm getting from advertising, and I've also looked at the percentage that is of advertising so we can kind of smooth out the fluctuations of, is my shop getting more views in total? Are more people shopping? Is it a busier time? So looking at the percentage there as well helps even that out slightly. And then I've gone to get the rest of the data from my advertising dashboard. Now, I said last time I spoke about this that the actual spend from Google wasn't showing up. What's happened? I have no idea why. Etsy in my bill didn't charge me till a month later for my Google ads. So it's been much easier to take the ad spend from the marketing page on my dashboard than from my finances from my bill. So I'm not 100% sure how accurate this is. Another thing you'll see from my stats, the visits compared to the clicks, the number's slightly different. And this, as well as small variations in how things are reported. A visit means if someone clicks on that ad, it doesn't matter what other pages they go and look at. They can look at 10 pages, they can look at 1 page. That's one visit. However, they might click around a wee bit more. So the clicks might include clicks from people clicking on the ad and then clicking on something else. So there's a slight difference in the visits number compared to the ad clicks. And then using the data I got from my marketing dashboard, I've put it through the eRank's ROI calculator. This is a free tool for any eRank member, so it's free to sign up. So get yourself over there, get an account, does the simple maths for you to bring up some more data to look at. So let's have a look. So I'm starting each week on the Friday because I changed over on a Thursday, so it gives me 3 weeks of data before and after the changeover. So before the changeover, the weeks are starting the 9th, 16th and the 23rd of August, and after it's the 30th of August, the 6th of September and the 13th of September. A super interesting thing with the visits is my ads started up when I changed over. They've significantly dropped, but then they've been crawling back up over time. I'll pop in the graph from my stats to show you this. And again, the actual percentages have dropped. They've gone from 26, 24% down to 11 and 12, and then shot way up to 30%. 30% of my views just now are coming from advertising. And the views and clicks are following that trend accordingly. Now, as I've said, the number of sales and the amount of revenue is not particularly statistically significant for the amount of data that I have here. For instance, the 16th of August, I obviously had a good week for sales, and the 6th of September, not such a good week. But this is just the luck of the right people seeing and clicking. The ad spend, again, is tracking the amount of clicks I'm getting. As expected, it's tracking the amount of views. So, when I first clicked over, the ad spend was super low, and now it's crawled up to an all-time high. The return on investment and cost per order numbers, again, not particularly statistically significant. But the click-through rate is, and interestingly, for those first 2 weeks after I changed the order over, it did take a dip. And this past week, it's climbed up to what it was before. What can affect your click-through rate is how targeted are the people that are being shown your ads. If you're searching for a green steampunk hat and what comes up in the search is exactly a green steampunk hat, you're far more likely to click on it than if you're shown something that's completely irrelevant to what you were searching for. And also, if you're searching for that long tail term, you're more likely to be thinking about buying. You know exactly what it is you're looking to buy compared to very broad, unspecific terms like ring. You're more likely to not really know what you want. So when you see things in your search, you're less likely to click on it. So that way, your click-through rate might be significantly lower. Now, my click-through rate climbing up and stabilising similar to before is a good thing. It's showing that my ads are, although they're getting shown to more people, it's still targeted to good people. My fear was when Etsy was wanting to spend more of my ad budget, they would spread it out, they would show it to a broader range of people, so the click-through rate might have dropped down, but it's actually being shown to people who are just as interested in my items. But as I've said, this data set is very small. Now, my ads perform differently over the course of a year. Much, much more clicks, more views, more money is at Christmas time than it is at this time of the year. But I just wanted to take a weekly average over the entirety of the year, and here are my figures for that as well. And we can see my visits average out at about 99 a week, and the percent of total ads is about 21%. My views are at 12,000 and clicks at about 140. I average about one order a week at a revenue of $60, and the ad spend has been $7.26 per week, which, as we can see, the 3 weeks before the advertising was pretty steady. As soon as I changed the ads, that spend dropped way down, and then suddenly it's way higher than it was. My return on investment is averaging out at about 700%, which I was finding promoted listings were climbing up and were sitting at about 2000%, but the Google ads were dropping that down a bit as I'd been running them for a while just to see. And the click-through rate was at about 1.2% and the conversion of 0.8%. So actually the 3 weeks before I turned on the new ads, my listings were about at an average value. And this makes sense, we're just about to start to pick up to the busy period. So my data for just now is not horrible. I am still going to hang on and wait and see how it does. I want more data, and I want data at the times when more people are shopping. They're coming up to Christmas period. But as it stands, my cost per click has not increased significantly. I can't say if my number of sales, if my conversion rate has increased or decreased because there's just not enough data. But it currently seems that Etsy is trying to show out my ads to more people, and I'm totally happy with that. If it costs the same and they're just as likely to buy, by all means, my return on investment used to be pretty good. So far, I'm sticking with the ads. Now let me know in the comments below how you have found the ads. If you're having enough views and clicks to even have a statistically significant amount of data, and if you've decided to keep the ads running for a while, or if they're switching them off. Now, if you're wanting more videos like this, more updates, don't forget, hit the thumbs up, click on my wee face to subscribe, and come back often for more videos. Thank you so much. See you next time.